You remember that guy who was film shouting racial slurs in Jersey?
Yeah,
Yes,
at the
you.
7-Eleven, right?
Was it a 7-Eleven or was that his neighbor's house? I thought.
Oh, I don't know. There was a guy who was
His neighbor's
dropping
house.
N-bombs at a 7-Eleven.
No, that was me.
Right. Oh, right.
It was Puerto Rican Rattlesnake.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw one of the videos. One of them got fucked up.
Which at the 7-Eleven guy?
Yeah, somebody popped off that N-word, and then the brothers
you
wasn't
can't-
having it.
Well, you can't be saying the N-word at 7-Eleven.
No, you
Bro,
gotta,
No, it's
wasn't
their
having it.
territory. They own buses and 7-Elevens.
yeah, you got to be careful, man.
Yeah, man.
Look, I will defend anyone's right to say whatever they want, but if you start throwing the N-word around black people, you're going to get beat up. Let's get real. You need to look in the mirror and realize what you're doing.
That's not cancel culture. That's consequence culture.
That's consequence culture.
That's just
that.
you got to be smart about fucking who you're dealing with.
That's
doggy.
called fuck around and find out. Yeah.
Exactly. Shannon, so what happened with this guy? This was a guy.
You shouldn't even say it in your car, really.
He was saying really sometimes.
This is
Oh,
him if
yeah,
you
I
just
saw this.
want a reminder. Do
I
you want
saw
to watch
this.
a little of it?
Yeah, please.
I saw this one.
Sorry, that's my fault.
I remember this one. He wound up getting fired at the jail or something.
But didn't they gather around his house? That's what they'll do now.
Something like that. It was something. I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to be, and he's stepping on his property like he has all right to fuck him up.
Yeah.
But he's just trying to be a better dude. And that's what pissed me off. I'm like, why the fuck is this goofy ass this man's property? See, that right there would have been a punch in the mouth.
Yeah.
That pull back up.
Also, nobody that knows how to fight does this. And
Yeah.
it's like it's just you watch that happen, you're like, dude, this is the worst strategy.
And he's got the high ground.
ever. Like you're gonna get
Yeah.
fucking
Just
laid the
chilling,
fuck out, dude. That
like,
was some
what-
shit we would do in middle school. Like you talk
Put
shit,
your
you'd be like,
chin
yeah,
out.
do something. Do you put your hands behind your back? Do something. Do something. No, you do something. You're like, what are you doing?
That's the dumbest
so
shit.
create space.
Yeah.
Like don't if you step into this if you step into this space, I'm assuming you're fucking attacking me and I'm
Yeah.
fucking gonna strike first.
Yeah.
None of that shit, dude. I remember you were taught as a kid, like, dude, don't throw the first punch. My mom told me when I was younger, she was like, don't throw the first punch. You're gonna wait to get hit? What are you, stupid? Punch. Don't wait. Yeah, be the fucking first one to get off and get the fuck out of there, doggy. Simple as that. Yeah. That's some weird like that's some old like, oh, we gotta respect each other and throw fisticuffs shit. It's like, no, doggy, no. Not only do I throw the first punch, do this a lot while your friend sneaks around and hits the guy from behind. That is the correct strategy.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, like, I'm not even saying like I'm all for a fair one, but if you start fucking with one of my friends,
Pulling up. He was walking up on his step.
if you start fucking with one of my friends, right? Even if it's a one-on-one situation, right? And able-bodied, it just is what it is. It's the way me and my friends grew up. Like, let's say, you're my boy, and you guys are talking shit, right? It is my duty to get behind him and fucking crack him in the side of the fucking head, and then for us to both stomp him
Watch
out.
the quiet, homie.
Yeah, that's
we've always watched the quiet. one.
Watch the guy that fucking sneaks off
Watch
camera.
the quiet.
Watch the guy that
there
dips
was
off
so
camera.
many fights in South Jersey. I was like, I'm watching the quiet one. Y'all do this, but there's a sneaker.
You got to
It's like the
step
Simpsons
back.
episode
Motherfucker
with
comes
the
from
little
behind the
Japanese guy.
Altima.
Wait, we call these guys sneakers?
I gave you that one. I gave you that one.
Doggy, but
Let me
I'm
get a
telling you,
water. I need a
that was the way it was, and I'm kidding to a certain degree. You shouldn't do that, but it just my instinct. If you start fucking like one of my close friends, if you start talking shit to Zac Amico, you're also talking shit to me. That just is what it is, and you figure it out later. Even if my boy's being a fucking jerk off, it's my job later on to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you get me into this shit, you idiot?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you always get your friends back. I told my son that yesterday because he's friends with this kid. And the kid's like, he's a very sweet kid, really, really nice kid. But he's like a know-it-all-y kind of nerdy kid. Like he's a short kid, So James was telling me, he was like, yeah, like, he was like, I feel like a lot of kids like are gonna like mess with him or whatever. And I was like, look, if that's your boy, I was like, you always defend him. I was like,
Shit on him later.
I was like, if that's your boy, I was like, if anybody messes with him, you always get his back. I was like, that's him, and he's got your back. I was like, Max, fucking this kid. I was like, you guys, that's that. Yeah, I mean that's like the the street shit that I think that you're just not taught unless you have a fucking like it's almost like you need a bad parent to teach you some of those good lessons. Like my mom taught me some great lessons, but the only reason she was able to teach me those lessons was because she was a shitty mom. Just the idea of like hitting somebody first, or the idea of just not letting anybody fuck with you in general. It's like if you let them fuck with some jailhouse shit. Like my mom told me the same thing they told you on 60 Days In on day one of that TV show. We're like, yeah, don't let somebody disrespect you. It was like if they disrespect you once, everyone's gonna do it. My mom gave me that jail pep talk on the day before kindergarten.
Yeah.
She was like, if somebody takes your lunch, you have to create a shiv and stab them in the neck with your lunch tray.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah,
cool.
my mom and grandma taught me go get a teacher, and my dad taught me liver punches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, liver.
Because if it's
Oh, yeah.
easy to pick on you, they'll do it.
Yeah, as simple as that. If they do it once, they'll keep doing it. And I had to learn that lesson because I was fucking picked on. I was bullied in such a nasty way. Like these little fucking racist white kids in my neighborhood on Benson Street.
You were just trying to do anything goes.
I was just so though I'm not a great romancer, I know that I'm proud to answer, and you suppose like what? Fuck you, Louis. You fucking gay bitch.
just made them so mad because you were giving girls back massages.
Yeah, no. No, I was the only brown kid on my block, and so there was all these little white kids, and they were just straight up like little white trash, like suburban fucking. They were poor. It was just like when you deal with like, especially in the 80s, you're just dealing with like poor white people. Poor white people in the 80s were racist.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all they had.
Ignorance, just white people or just poor people in general.
What
are
you lack in
ignorant as
money,
fuck,
you
and-
make
and-
up in racism.
And ignorance very often shows its face in the form of just bigotry, racism, sexism, whatever it is, right? That's you're not.
I've only been called things by the poor.
Of course, 100%. And there was all these fucking poor white kids in my neighborhood that would fucking throw rocks at me and call me the N-word. And they would bully me, what's funny is like I still wanted to be friends with them all. Like I was very ashamed of my skin color. All my mom was white, my sister was white, my aunt was white, everyone in the neighborhood was white. I was this little brown kid being called the N-word. I was like, this sucks.
And you're not even that.
I'm barely brown, doggy.
Yeah, barely brown. You like beige.
Barely brown. That was the name of this podcast for a while. So, but yeah, and then they would fight. But my mom eventually, she was like, "No, you got to fight these kids." My mom would she would be sick of me coming home crying every day, and she was like, "Fuck this." She was like, "You're fighting," and she brought me around to each of them and made me fist fight them.
What was funny, my grandma told me to fight, but my mom was like, "You fight and you get expelled from school. I'm gonna kill you."
Yeah.
So you got to learn how to talk. So I was always, I had to learn how to chat back. So snapping was basically what I went to. So jokes was in me. I had to learn how to get them back, but I couldn't fight. My mom
I was
would kill me.
very funny in elementary school. In middle
What happened?
school, a little bit. No, it kind of
Jokes.
like it
Jokes
kind
was
of
my
got
way
like
in.
whatever it was. It didn't like being the class clown.
Didn't hold the gravitas.
It was almost like I was a clown.
Okay.
It was
I
like
see
it was. It wasn't like people were like. It was almost like they were laughing at me. It wasn't laughing with me. So I started like noticing it. I was like, oh, these kids are like encouraging me to like fucking be an out. I'm getting in trouble a lot.
Oh, shit.
And these kids are they're not really my friends. Like I was like, what am I even doing? And then I almost had like a chip on my shoulder where I started like hating. By the time I got to high school, I was like, yo, fuck these people.
Origins of,
I
a
knew,
villain.
and I
That's
knew,
the
I
origins
knew,
of a
I knew
villain.
everybody because I went to both. I got kicked out of the one middle school for fighting to the other middle school. So by the time I got to the high school, I knew everybody from both middle schools that fed into that high school. So I literally knew everybody. But at that point, I wasn't trying to be funny. I was like, yo, fuck these people. I really didn't like I hated people. I hated people in school. I had
You hated whites.
Was
I
you a
hated white
goth
people.
dude in school? We just wore a lot of black.
Goth wasn't the word because it was goth kids.
Yeah.
But I was like, my crew that we hung out with was like alternative to like everybody. There was like metalheads and goth kids and there was skater kids and there was like it was out of a high school movie in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So it was the jocks and then there was the like the black kids and who like fucking dressed nice and then there was like the fucking like all the Latino kids who had the pencil mustaches.
Oh,
and it was
shit.
super segregated. Like every like table had their own, and my crew was like the fucking like the irregulars that just didn't fit in with any. So there'd be a kid who
Except
was
at Hot Topic.
yeah, except at Hot Topic. But there was a kid who skateboarded in our crew and kind of hung out with those. And like some of the kids, the one girl was kind of goth and she would like hang out with the goth kids, but we would make fun of the goth kids. And then the football players, we were just sort of like, we were kind of smarmy cunts, to be honest with you. We were like, we thought we were the least cool people in the school, but we thought we were cooler than fucking everybody. We were fucking dorks. We were a bunch of fucking just like pimply fucking kids being like, oh, these guys all fucking suck. Kind of like the way comedians are. Like that's the way comics are. It's like a bunch of fucking freaks and geeks. And we fucking think we're cooler. We make fun of everybody, but nobody can pay their fucking rent.
That's pretty wild. Because I remember in high school, I made all the dudes who loved to fight laugh. So they'd always be like, don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was always pretty cool.
Yeah.
The dudes who loved to just to go to school and fuck people up. they always thought I was funny. So they was like, that's how I always got my little insurance going through high school.
Yeah, we didn't have it wasn't a dangerous school like that. We went to it was North Rockland, but it was a mix of, there was a lot of poor kids, Haverstraw and Tompkins Cove, get some white trash kids. But it was a nicer school. If I had to guess, look up North Rockland High School. If I had to guess, it's considered a good school, like in terms of like how they rate schools or whatever. So it wasn't like I imagine you went to school in like the Dangerous Minds school. Like it's just fucking, it's just like it's got a white teacher trying to teach you guys.
Overbrook was just a school. It was just a high school. It was a school with girls in there. It was just like we had a lot of bomb threats.
Yeah.
And that was all. Like bomb threats, fights in the cafeteria.
Yeah, people would pull the fucking fire alarm. There was that was a fight in the cafeteria.
Kid makes a hit list.
Once a month. Yeah, you're right. There was. Once in a while you find a kid who probably was making a bomb.
Yeah.
But that was the other thing that happened as well during my high school time. The fucking trenchcoat mafia and that whole shit went down, right?
Right.
So that became a thing that like kids tried to emulate. Like I remember my buddy Forrest.
Did they dress up like FBI agents?
He dressed up like he was from the Matrix. Dude, he used to wear glasses and a long leather coat. Like you look like a what are you doing, dude? What is this? What are you going for, dude?
He's like, I'm a school shooter.
It's like, dude, I'm totally a school shooter.
I'm gonna kill everybody here.